Hi friends, this is lesson number 8th in this series of British literature, and we are continuing our journey in Anglo-Norman literature, and we are going to talk about the prominent poets. The first we have, that is Geoffrey of Monmouth. Geoffrey could be the name of the person and Monmouth is the name of the place. He was born in the year 1100, and the major work he wrote about Britain's history, and the name of that work is Historia Regum Britannia in Latin. So he wrote in Latin, and the name of the work was Historia Regum Britannia, and later it was translated into English by the name The History of the Kings of Britain. So, as the name suggests, this book contains the history of the kings of Britain, almost about the history of 2000 years, and right from the beginning, from Trojan War and then founding of the Britain as the nation, and till the Anglo-Saxon came to England. So, covering almost 2000 years. And by this book, we come to know that history of Britain, especially Britain, it was founded by Brutus of Troy. Remember the name Brutus, and he was a character in the Trojan War. So it is called as the Brutus of Troy, and Troy is the name of the city. A bit I would like to tell you about that these characters like Brutus, and again I told you about the city Troy. These are the ancient names of the places and the persons, especially from the historical work. The one I would like to tell you, that is of Homer, Iliad and Odyssey, and in that we come to know about the Trojan War, and then we come to know about the city Troy, Brutus, the Trojan hero Aeneas. In fact, it is said that the Brutus is the descendant of Aeneas. He is a it is also available in the Roman history and Greek history. In fact, they have these characters common in their history. By this, we can also say that such figures are only mythical one, and only created by the writers. But you find that such names, they are also available in Greek history, they are also available in Roman history. Maybe sometime names are changed, and they all are the descendants of the gods and goddesses. One more thing, as I mentioned that the name of the Britain comes from Brutus of Troy, but it is believed that the actual British or the Britain we see, it starts from the Anglo-Saxon invasion in the 3rd or 4th century. Then we talk about the Historia Regum Britannia. It was written in 1136 or so, and the not modern day, but in the Elizabethan age, we have a play. The name of the play written by William Shakespeare, that is King Lear. The plot of the King Lear is taken from this book. So whatever the history is presented in this book about the King Lear, from there the plot is taken. And several plots related to King Arthur are also available in this book. Means some of the work we will study about King Arthur, and those plots are also taken from this book. Now, to wind up the story of this writer, we just have to remember that Geoffrey of Monmouth has written a work in Latin, that is Historia Regum Britannia, about the history of Britain. Then we have another poet, that the name of that poet is Wace, and he was born in 1110. He wrote the work Roman de Brut. These are some awkward names. Roman de Brut, and it was written in Norman French language, and it is termed as the literary history of Britain. So now we compare these two works by their names. Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote the history of the kings of the Britain, and Wace wrote the literary history of Britain. Or you can also call it as the verse history. Verse in a sense means in the form of poetry or literature, the literary history of Britain in Norman French language. He wrote in Latin language, and now Wace wrote it in Norman French language. The next poet we are going to study, Lyman is the next poet. Lyman, and his famous work is Brut or Brute, however you may call it, and it is written in the Middle English, alliterative Middle English. So we are seeing a change. Earlier, Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote in Latin, then we had Weiss written the things in Norman French language, and now we have Layman writing in Middle English. And it contains the matter from the history of Britain, especially the Brutus of Troy, that mythical character you can call it, and it is inspired from the previous two works, Historia Regum Britannia and Roman de Brut. And in this work, largely we see the content is based on the King Arthur's life. So in this lesson we talked about the three main writers, Geoffrey of Monmouth, Weiss and Layman, and their respective work. And in the next lesson we shall be talking about the Gawain poet, that is very important and may take some longer time, so that's why I am finishing this lesson here. And thanks for watching this lesson, and hope I have enjoyed you with my lesson, and thanks a lot.